There's a version of you right now living the life you only dream about, and the only thing keeping you from it is your frequency. They have the clarity, the peace, the confidence, the abundance, the love, and they're not waiting, they're not chasing, they're not visualizing endlessly or repeating affirmations hoping something will change. They've already become it. And you're just one shift away from meeting them. This is not a metaphor, it's a quantum reality, and once you understand how to access this version of yourself, your entire life can change faster than you ever thought possible. Not through force, not through hustle, but through something much deeper, something that most people never learn. You don't create a new reality through action, you do it through frequency. In the next few minutes, you're going to discover what quantum jumping really is and what it's not, why your current identity is holding your reality in place, how to shift timelines by aligning with the version of you who already has what you want. The biggest mistake people make that blocks the jump, and a practical, powerful method to activate a real timeline shift starting today. But this video isn't just about learning, it's about remembering, because deep inside you, something already knows. You were never meant to wait for your dream life. You were designed to jump into it. And by the end of this video, you'll understand how. But first, let's open the portal. Before we dive in, I need you to know something. Quantum jumping isn't magic. It's mechanics of energy, of consciousness, of identity. It doesn't require years of spiritual practice or scientific knowledge. It only requires one thing, a willingness to let go of who you've been so you can become who you already are. Stay with me until the end, because this isn't just a concept. By the time we finish, I'll share a practical technique that you can apply tonight to start collapsing the old timeline and aligning with the version of you that's already living the life you crave. You're not here by accident. You're here because your future self is calling you back. First of all, let's clear the fog. When most people hear the term quantum jumping, they picture something wild like teleportation, astral projection, a wormhole opening in their living room, or maybe even a sci-fi movie where someone travels to a parallel universe and meets an alternate version of themselves. It's easy to think it's something magical or something mystical that only a few people can access. But here's the truth. Quantum jumping is not about escaping reality. It's about shifting your relationship to it. And once you understand what it really is, not in theory, but in your body, in your frequency, you realize it's one of the most natural and accessible things you've ever done. In fact, you've already quantum jumped many times. You just didn't know you were doing it. So, what is quantum jumping? At its core, quantum jumping is the process of shifting your energetic signature, your thoughts, your emotions, your beliefs, your vibration to align with a version of reality where a different you already exists. A version of you who has the clarity, the joy, the courage, the money, the relationship, the purpose, the peace. That version is not a fantasy. That version is real, existing right now in the quantum field of infinite potential. Quantum physics has long proposed the idea of the multiverse, that every choice, every possibility, every thought spawns a new reality. And while some scientists debate the literal existence of parallel universes, what matters for us is this. Your consciousness chooses which version of reality you collapse into. The you who continues in the same patterns is just one of many. But there's also a you who broke the cycle. A you who chose a different frequency, and with it, a different life. Quantum jumping is the process of choosing that you. Let's bring this down to Earth. In the famous double-slit experiment, particles behave like waves of infinite possibilities until they are observed, and then boom, they collapse into a fixed point. That's reality. Infinite potential until your observation, your attention, your belief, your expectation collapses one of those potentials into form. Now imagine that instead of particles, we're talking about versions of you. Which version are you observing? Which version are you expecting? Which one are you emotionally entangled with? Because that's the one you're living. And here's the key most people miss. You don't shift timelines by thinking about it. You shift by becoming a vibrational match to the version of you in that reality. It's not thought alone. It's thought plus emotion plus identity. That combination creates the energetic password the quantum field recognizes. Let's get something straight. Quantum jumping is not daydreaming about a better life and waiting for it to show up, repeating affirmations while still feeling unworthy, trying to force the universe to bring something faster, escaping your current reality because you're dissatisfied. That's not jumping, that's avoidance. And the quantum field doesn't respond to fantasy, it responds to frequency. If you're still rooted in fear, doubt, lack, or unworthiness, you're locked into the version of you that vibrates with those emotions. No matter how hard you wish for something else, you don't get what you want, you get who you are. Quantum jumping requires a true shift in being. You've already jumped. You just didn't know it. Think back to a time in your life when something changed suddenly. Maybe you had a wake-up call, maybe you took a risk, maybe you let go of something toxic, maybe you started acting like someone new before. There was evidence that it would work, and suddenly life changed. You felt different. People responded to you differently. Opportunities appeared. Everything just clicked. That was a quantum jump. It didn't happen because the universe decided to give you a break. It happened because you shifted timelines by aligning with a new frequency of self. And the moment you did, a new version of reality became accessible. You've done it before. Now it's time to do it intentionally. Why this matters? Understanding this isn't just fascinating, it's liberating, because it means you're never stuck. You're never doomed to repeat the same patterns. You're never truly trapped in your current identity. The door to your next level life isn't locked. It's just vibrating at a frequency you haven't tuned into yet. And once you do, everything shifts. You don't need to wait for a sign. You don't need to earn it. You just need to choose it. And choosing it means becoming the one who already lives it. In the next minutes, I'll show you how to do exactly that. You'll discover why identity is the bridge between timelines and how to align with the version of you who already has what you want. Ready to jump? Let's go. Here's a truth that might shake your entire belief system. You're not manifesting your reality through effort. You're manifesting it through identity. And until you shift who you are being energetically, emotionally, vibrationally, no external shift will last. Because in the quantum field, it's not about chasing outcomes. It's about matching frequencies. And your frequency isn't set by what you want. It's set by who you believe you are. Let's imagine this right now. There are infinite versions of you existing in parallel, each one making different choices, holding different beliefs, living different outcomes. There's a version of you who isn't afraid to speak their truth, has a magnetic relationship, lives in financial abundance, feels deeply fulfilled, moves with clarity, confidence, and peace. This version of you isn't better or more deserving. They're just aligned with a different identity and therefore a different frequency. And because of that frequency, they're in a different timeline. Now here's where most people get stuck. They try to change the outer world, take new actions, say new affirmations, visualize new things, but they're still carrying the same core identity underneath. So no matter what they do, they keep jumping back into the same version of reality. You don't get what you want, you get what you are. Let's make this practical. You want abundance. Stop acting like someone who's broke, stressed, or proving their worth. Start embodying the energy of someone who trusts, who flows, who receives easily. You want love. Stop acting like someone waiting to be chosen. Start showing up like someone who already knows they're worthy, complete, magnetic. Because here's the hard truth. If your identity is the one who's still becoming, you'll never reach the version who already is. You must become the identity now before the evidence appears. That's what quantum jumping is really about. It's not pretending, it's not forcing. It's a full body, full belief shift into the version of you who already lives it. Most people live in what I call the identity feedback loop. They feel like they don't have what they want. So they act like someone who's trying, which reinforces the belief that they're not there yet, which creates more of the same reality, and the cycle repeats. Quantum jumping breaks that loop. It says, I no longer identify as the one who's waiting. I'm now the version who already lives this reality, and I choose to act, think, feel, and move as them even before it's real, especially before it's real. Because the field doesn't respond to what's real. It responds to what's consistent. When your energy matches your future self, not just in your mind, but in your nervous system, you become a magnet for the timeline where that version of you already exists. Reality starts to shift. People treat you differently. New opportunities appear. Synchronicities become normal. Your decisions come from inner knowing, not fear, and it feels less like trying to become and more like remember.